Welcome. We're kind of off to a slow start today. I was going to go flying, but the wind is kind of blustery, and I don't want to test my new Tucker in anything but perfect weather. So I figured, what the heck, I only got a month left to build this airplane. I need to get after it. Now, today, for the paid members, I'm going to finish out the bell crank geometry and install. So that'll be coming later on this afternoon. But today we're going to kind of work on some of the things that need to be caught up. I got this nose shape already, and I put the carbon spinner on it. So I'm pretty happy with that. But of course, it'll get sanded again. But we're going to take the motor out of this, and I'm going to start working on the fitment of the cowl. So let's get after that. There's so much work to do, and not enough time in the day. You know, working in a little shop like this, and I mean, this is not really even a shop. This is basically a motel room. Trying to get things done is pretty tough. So we're going to go with the cowl setup and fitment, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I cut the pieces out already. I need to pull this motor. And we'll go back to the other bench behind me. For you folks that aren't a paid member, I would suggest it so you get the inside scoop on bell crank geometry and fitment of the push rods. I'm also going to do, somebody asked me about airfoils, center of gravity, center of pressure, etc. I'm going to do that as well on the paid side. So, for the price of a cup of coffee every month at Starbucks, you can get some knowledge. Hit that join button down by the subscribe button and become a member. Okay, so let's go over here. Got my flaps cut in. And I might get them mounted up today, but I wanted to work on the cowl to get it ready to go so I can get it lined and we'll start working with that. So basically this is pretty easy. It's pretty simple, straightforward how to do this. Now I could CA this on here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some white glue on it, then come in and CA it so I can work on it, because we're going to have to fit this block here in the nose. Well, it's not this block, but another block. And I probably ought to cut it back before I do that. So let's do that. I need to put this on the floor. Yeah, you kind of got to think things through, how you're going to do things. So I need to cut this back I'll make it big so I can sand it. It's going to have to be cut at an angle like that so that I can take this block and glue them together. And that joint has to be perfect. Otherwise, when you sand it, there'll be a hole in it. So, how am I going to do that? Yeah, with a saw, I guess. I need you to see the way I use these tools. Kind of important. So we need to move the camera probably to the other side. Okay. So I have a line drawn here, and I want to get it square across there. How would you do it? So you just hold the square there, and you're going to angle the razor saw or the back saw at that angle, and you're going to start cutting. Now, if you guys that have cable saws and sanders and stuff at home, you know, that's one thing, but I don't have that here, so I have to do it this way. Okay, well, we got it close. Now I'll block sand it till it's perfect. Just kind of eyeball it, make sure that both sides are equal and the same. That way the block isn't going sideways. So this piece will get glued to here, like so. And the outside cuts are simple. So now I have to make this block the same width as this block. This was good stuff. It was 4 foot, 4 foot wide, 1 inch thick, or 4 foot wide. 4 inches wide, 36 inches long, 1 inch thick, 174 grams. Figure it out. Good stuff. So we want to cut this a little big too, so we can sand the shape. Remember, the wide part is the part we're keeping, so you put the ruler on the line, hide the line, hold this perpendicular to the work. Don't try to cut it all at once. Oh, I got a little, no, shoot. Hopefully it's big enough. Oh, it is, good. I left it big enough to sand down. That's a good thing. 6 viewers. Like I say, if you got table saws and scroll saws and jigsaws and stuff like that, you don't have to go through all this rigmarole. But this airplane's all hand built, so I have no power tools here whatsoever. I have to do this stuff. Makes the process rather slow too. But desire, that's what drives it. I guess Rusty didn't have a hangout last night. He called me. I was sleeping. He didn't have internet. That should be close enough. Like I said, we're not building a watch. So that goes like that. Okay. So now we'll, I could rough shape it, I guess. We'll cut it big. This is top. I'm just going to rough shape this so I don't have a whole lot to sand off. Basically the same thing I just did a second ago in the opposite direction. Membership drive today, guys. Join the membership side. I unearthed some t-shirt designs that Marcus Cordelio did. I'm going to be putting on Teespring to remember him by. That was just, you know, this didn't have to be perfect. This cut here didn't have to be perfect because we're going to sand it to shape anyway. Now, we need to glue all this stuff together. Sig Bond. These are about the only places I use this white glue stuff. Joints like this, because I can't afford anything coming apart. Let's see, I better have some wax paper. I know I had some. Yeah, we got 4 likes. Hey, Jack. Yeah. Today's project is the cowl, and the paid memberships are going to get the rest of the bell crank geometry. So there's one bell crank geometry video up already. It was an hour long. Let's see, got to make sure we get this glued on the right direction. So that's the bottom, and this is the top. So nice thing about the white glue is that it gives you plenty of time to adjust. If you CA it together, it's there. And all this stuff, all this here gets sanded away anyway. I mean, the only thing that's left is a 3/32 shell. Okay. And this glue dries relatively fast. I mean, we'll have to go on and do something else, but yeah, it's nasty stuff. I have put together a playlist of all the Tucker videos. It's called Mega Tuckers. Look on the playlist. This will be the 33rd video in the series. This airplane is just a little over 2 months old, at an hour a day, so that tells you 60 hours to get it framed up. Normally what takes the most time is the finish work. And I'm going to have to put the hump on if they're going to have a nats, and I want to make the nats with this airplane. So now, to make sure everything fits well, and we might need that. Don't throw these little blocks away either, especially when they're as light as this piece of wood is. It's 3.5 pound wood. The glue will probably weigh more than the cow. Like, subscribe, share the videos. Super chats are always welcome and helpful because our channel is really weak. Oh shoot. I'm not gonna be able to put that cowl on with this piece on here. So I need to do this. I need to pull this out. We'll pull that out, get the fuselage up here. Get it set on here. I'm trying to get it as close as possible so that when I start sanding, I don't have to grind too much stuff away. That looks pretty good there. So we'll take a little CA and give it a little tack weld. So it can't move. Okay. It's a good thing I paid attention. I didn't get that one right. Gotta move it back. So I think what's going to happen here, this is making it very difficult to do on this. I'm just going to guess it, tack it, and then yeah, we'll just guess, tack it, and hope. So I need my square. What the hell happened to my other clamps? Come on. There we go. More better. Okay. Ooh, messy. Messy. Like tack welding. Except the tack welds ain't holding because that glue is so slick. So I was watching a video before I come on today. Burt Monroe, fastest Indian from New Zealand. Man, that guy was something else. It wasn't a movie, it was his life documentary. Really had it together, really. Now, once this dries, this is one solid block. So it best be right. I know I have more clamps than that. Where did they all go? Okay, what do we got here? Well, that's good. I wasn't happy with the quality of mine, so I redid it. You're the only guy that you have to really please. You don't have to please me. You know, it's not up to me. Who am I? It's all on you. Why does this thing keep moving? I need to get a few more of them bar clamps from Sears. Well, they don't have no more Sears. Maybe Lowe's has them. That moved too. Can't win today. Get up in there. We're going to get it right eventually. Okay, when it's in this state, like it kept moving, so you better look at it and make sure it's right now, or forever hold your peace. Because once that glue's dry, it's over. This is the joint you want tight right there. This one and that one. Otherwise, when you sand it, you'll sand a hole in it because you're sanding on the outside. Then you're going to come back and hollow it on the inside. I mean, it's not a disaster. You can fix it, but why do you Why do you want to make things harder on yourself? Okay, so while that dries, this is back to the time management. Um, sure would like to see a new member join. If you're not a paid subscriber, please do it. I'd like to see one paid subscriber every new show. Jack Snavely, RC Fred, you guys get anything out of those paid videos I do? Because I'll be doing another one today. Stuff that I don't normally talk about. I'm gonna go. You know, I ought to do that for everybody. Let me show you. Let me show you something I'm gonna do for paid subscribers, but I'm gonna show it on the open here. But I'll go to it more in depth on the paid side. I was asked. I can't remember if it was a video or an email or whatever. I was asked to describe center of pressure, center of gravity, how do I get a rib design, etc. Okay. It's going to blow some of you away, but maybe not. Take a piece of paper. Now I work on 3 and 4 inch increments, and the reason being is that 3 and 4 inches is what wood design comes in. And it either comes in 3 inch or 4 inch sheets. So we're going to want a root rib. Let's say it's 11 and a half, and I'll show you how close I am. We'll say it's 11 and a half inches long. Except I can't do it on this because the paper's only 11 inches. So we'll just say 11-inch root. $11-inch root. And I want my trailing edge 3/8 of an inch. ID. And then you add a 16th inch on each side, and that ends up 1/2 inch. So you measure up here 3/16 of an inch. This is where, for you young guys, forget Common Core math because it doesn't work. Do the math that us old guys use, and they'd be a whole lot better off. So remember, I work in 3 or 4 inch sheet increments. So we know let's say we have a 4-inch sheet at the root. We're going to have 4 inches from the leading edge back. So I just measure back 4 inches. Make a mark. I want my root thickness to, let's say, 2.5 inches. So we're going to measure up at a 45 or at a 90, whatever. A 90. We're going to make a mark. That's 90 from that line. We're going to make a mark at 1.25 inches. That gives a 2.5 inch. Actually, for this that's too thick. We'll make it 2.25. So it'll be 1.125 inches. So now the sheeting will fit around that no problem. And we wanted a nice blunt leading edge, so we're going to use a quarter. Put the quarter on. A quarter's too big. Nickel would probably be better. For you young guys, nickel's bigger than a quarter. Or bigger than a dime. smaller than a quarter. So we'll put the nickel on there. Or if you have some circle templates, you can use those too. And we'll make a circle. You say, well, that ain't no big deal. You're right, it's not. So they asked me, how do you get an airfoil? Well, you can get an airfoil with a shoe. Here's the shoe. Or if you have a French curve, you can use a French curve. Let's see, the other shoe would be better. So we're going to use the outside edge of the shoe. This is the only shoe I got handy. So hopefully we can get it to work. It's pretty thick airfoil. Now, how we're going to finish out the airfoil? Well, that's pretty simple too. Yeah, it would help if I had a helper here. Let's use my shoe as a stop, I guess. And when I cut this out, we're going to compare it to we're going to compare this to a Billy wing or SV wing or whatever. And we'll see how far off I am. Okay. And this airfoil will fly as good as anything out there. Trust me. So then you take it and fold it in half. I also want to talk about center of gravity on this. Where do you think? People think center of gravity is due to the length of the airplane. It's not. It's due to the length of the wing. It's due to the root chord. 28 to 33% of the root is where the center of gravity is. So we have 11 inches. Let me get my calculator. We know that center of gravity, I'll just do it in my head. It's going to be 3.3 inches behind from the leading edge. So 3 3/8. Center of gravity is going to be approximately right here. You can move it back and forth, but to start out, that's where it's going to be. It has nothing to do with how long the airplane is. Now, remember, I'm not an engineer or mathematician or anything. I'm just an old biker dude that's built a whole lot of airplanes. You know, all these guys got these rib pattern design, trophy or whatever. Okay, there's a rib pattern. That's my rib template. When you open it up, it's a little fat up here. I would probably cut a little bit of this off. So now we're going to round this nose off. Center of pressure is too far back on this, so what you want to, this is all by eye too. You want to, and I'll bet it's real close to a rib I got over here. Let's see here. I'll take this one here. So this is a rib out of the lost foam cradle. So we know this one's working because that's what I'm using in my airplane. Let's see how close I am. You know, other than the width of the trailing edge, we're pretty damn close. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to whittle it down a little more. I should have bent that stick a little more. Still above that line. Yeah, this is a little thinner wing by about, it's only a 1/4 inch back there instead of 3/8. I don't know why it'd be like that, but whatever. So I'm gonna whittle this down. There we go. There we go. We got it now. Now you say, well, how am I going to get the tip rib? Okay, here's our root rib. This rib will fly as good as anything out there. It's very close to an SV rib. It's very close to, this is a June R wing. See, it's like a pencil line away. And that's how, I mean, you don't need all that fancy shit. Just do what I showed you there. Now, how do you get your tip rib? That's pretty simple too. So you take this rib here. Any of you guys ever built any I-beam wings, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They go back, they start at the leading edge and taper off to the trailing edge. That's called a constant taper. And yeah, you could, theoretically take some off the front and some off the back and make the center of pressure stay it, but it doesn't matter. So you draw a line here. So we have an 11-inch root rib and we want a 9-inch tip rib. These are numbers that are pretty constant, pretty universal. So we got a 9-inch. I ended up with a 1/4 inch trailing edge instead of a 3/8 trailing edge, but that's okay. So it's a little over, but yeah, it's a little over. So anyway, we'll measure up 1/8 of an inch here at the trailing edge. Make a mark. And put this line right there on the nose. And run this rib up until it touches that line. There we go. It'd be best to have this made out of plywood, but there we go. And there's our tip rib. You fold it over and cut it out. Oh, got 2 pieces of paper in there. I don't know how many guys. I have over 1,000 videos on this channel. And back when the channel was new, I was giving away secrets like this. I don't know if it was, I mean, if they're easily found, but I showed how to stack sand. And that's how you get your first set of ribs for prototypes. Out of doing the, or you can do CAD. I don't do CAD, I do TLAR. And you stack sand these ribs and then trace them out if you want to continue to build that same airfoil. Which, you know, I suggest you do. You want to build more than one. Here's the tip rib. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So we have a 2-inch taper in the leading edge. Or if you're slick and want to do something different, you can do a 1-inch taper in the leading edge and a 1-inch taper in the trailing edge. That moves the center of pressure forward. It also means you can run your airplane more nose heavy. The farther you move the leading edge forward, the more nose heavy you can get away with, and it won't act goofy. It'll still turn. Guaranteed. This set of ribs that I just drew here will fly as good as anything out there, as long as it's built light and straight. If you're going to run, you know, this type of taper, I would come back and make the cutouts for the, if it's a C tube, I'd make the cutouts at 4 inches for 3/16 spar here. That way the sheeting will come from the leading edge to there, and on the tip I would probably go 2.5 inches, 2.5 back. That way the spar is leaning, so it'll be 2.5. And it thins a little wood out at the tip. So you're not carrying a 4-inch sheet all the way out there. You don't need that. So and then put in the 3/16 spar there. Now, of course, if you're building an I-beam wing, you just need to make this template and figure your wing, where your wing is, how much sweep you want in that, and then you just use this template here to cut the strip ribs and cut the tails off as you go down the way. But these are the type of things that I'm going to be showing to the paid subscribers. Now, this was just one little trick that I've used over the years, how to make your own design wing that will operate, fly as good as anything out there, as long as it's light and straight. You don't need a profi design. You don't need a set of plans. You know, I just showed you how to make a set of plans. If you want to, you know, do some type of 3 view on a piece of paper, you just go, well, this is 11 inches, and our wingspan is going to be 60, so you want it 58. No, actually 56 plus 2 on each side gives you 60. So you want this panel 56 total. You got to figure the asymmetry. I would figure at least 3/4 of an inch of symmetry, meaning that the inboard panel is at least 3/4 of an inch longer, and you just deduct that to where your center is. Now, been thinking some on flaps. We're using way too much flap on these airplanes. Most of the guys are taking a 3-inch sheet or maybe even a 4-inch sheet, depending on who you are, and running clear out to the tip with very little taper. Well, the airplanes don't turn as good when you have a lot of flap. Now, if you're going to build heavy, you're going to need a lot of flap to turn the lumber wagon around the corner. But if you're going to try to keep the airplane light and weight management, paint management, you only need 2 3/4 inches at the root. 2 3/4 at the root. At the tip, 1 inch. I don't know. You guys can figure out the math. I mean, we could figure out how many square inches that is or whatever. But that's on a 4-inch elevator. So you want the stabilizer at the root 4 inches wide and the elevator at the root 4 inches wide. And that'll give approximately the correct ratio of flap to elevator. Now you can dial it out of the flap, meaning that you can speed up the ratio so you're getting more elevator than flap. But I think we're just carrying around too much lumber. So why not just get rid of the lumber and make the ratios 1-to-1? Keep the airplane light, ratios 1-to-1, get rid of some of that air brake that you got. So these are things that have worked for me, and my airplanes fly extremely well. I don't fly extremely well because I don't have enough time to practice. But at the end of the season, I'm not too bad. After I get, a few hundred flights down. Hello, 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 good evening, hello. All right, are there any questions about center of gravity? You don't figure center of gravity from the airplane, you figure center of gravity from the root rib. And you want anywhere between 28 and 30%. So you measure the length and come back 28 to 30% from the leading edge, and that's where your CG is going to be, approximately. And that all depends on this right here, flap to elevator ratio. But this is a good starting point. It won't leave you hunting and going crazy and maybe crashing if you start here. And like I say, I'm not an aerodynamics guy. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a guy I've built hundreds of these airplanes. Hundreds. I don't know how many I've built in my life. I've lost count. It's hundreds. I kind of wish I had all the money back I spent on this stuff. Okay, one of our cows set up. Pretty close. We'll leave it a little bit longer. Okay, I think I can start handling this. I mean, it's not completely dry, but pretty close. If I let it go another hour, I'd bet it would be dry completely. But we'll work. We'll work on it. It should be all right. Some people say, well, you gotta let it dry overnight. Nah, well, if you look at that glue right there, it's pretty hard already. And maybe a little bit more. I don't want to have to monkey with it. Should be about an ounce and a half, maybe 2 ounces. Let's see here. 59, so it's 2 ounces. 2 ounces even. And when I'm done with this, this will be 1/2 ounce max. This sanded to shape. And hollowed out to anywhere between the 1/8 and 3/16 thick all the way. Then I open up this hole right here, and then we're going to canoe it out inside here, so it'll be all hollow in here. Opening here. Gets a plywood ring on the nose with a dowel. If this was dry, we could start going for it, but man, I hate to. If I had a belt sander, I could get away with some stuff. Oh, just put it on there holding it, but I'm going to be manhandling it. I can't resist. Let's give it a try. Nope. So the first thing you want to do is get this thing shaped up that you can get it back on the airplane, at least close. So I can't resist that. I don't know why. Get excited. I want to see what it looks like. Hope you got something out of that airfoil tutorial. Don't let anybody bully you into saying, well, you got to have a CAD program. Well, no, you don't. I built many airplanes just like that. Okay. I wonder if Wilbur and Orville had a CAD. Not. If you are not a member of Stunt Hangar, please join. You must use your real first and last name to get approved. I get a lot of guys that join that want to be stuff I got no idea what it is. Doesn't have to be your display name. You can change that after you're logged in, but I want to know who you are before you pass my security. Heck, make up a name. Computers can't make up a name, so. But if I don't think it's right, you won't get by me. Okay, we got a roughed cow. Now, if I was at home, I had a jigsaw. I could jigsaw that out. So I'm going to have to whittle that with the long blade. But I can't do that probably till tomorrow when all this stuff is dry. But I want to see if I can get it fit up on the airplane. Gonna take a little finagling, but not bad. Better sand a little more there before I go too crazy. I'd like it to fit perfect. I still have to brave my electric jigsaw and cut out another plywood nose ring. Because this has to be stepped back 1/8 of an inch so the plywood nose ring can get glued on there. Or at least 1/16. That's what holds the cowl on. These lines don't look parallel either, so I'm going to have to put the motor back in and see what's up. I'll have to doctor that up. So that's that. And okay. Now, what do you think? Is that the hard way to do things or the easy way to do things? Hopefully I didn't notice that the camera was out of adjustment. I apologize. Of course, this will all get sanded and tapered back. It won't be so bulky up here. Probably like so. Get that long, nice nose look. But shit, we might need to put another block in there. Yeah, I think so. Huh. Yeah, if I'm going to make my nose like I normally do and make this angle way back, yeah, I'm going to need another block in there. It'll be close. I mean, oh, I don't know how many of you guys sit back, put something together, sit back and think about it, but I do that a lot. Like right now, I'm going to get a soda and think about this. Oh, man. Do I want to do this? That's basically what the other airplane looks like. Or do I want to scoop on it? Heart-shaped scoop? Or what do I want to do? Could make a fish mouth. I just don't know. I like that look where it swoops back, so I think that's what's probably going to happen. But it's going to take another block in there, which is not a big deal. I just cut this block here. Or wait, maybe this one's already cut. Yeah, already got one cut, so we'll glue that block in there like so. That should take care of that. See, if I come back this far and I'm rounding it off, it'll open this up. So instead of aggravating myself, we'll make a block fit in there before I even get started. I might take two of these and glue them together. I think that's what I'll do. I'll cut this in half, glue it together, then mill it again. Huh. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to do that the old-fashioned way, eyeball. Oh, there we go. Put that one in and then cut one to fit there. We don't care what the inside is. I got to get the outside done because I can take the Dremel tool and grind all this away and no big deal. But I got to get this inside right. It's only wood. It ain't like it's glass or something hard to work with. Okay, I need a bunch more cut off of that. It's got to be at this angle here. Quite a bit. You guys will go, wow, that's cool. Remember, I'm going to be putting up Marcus Cordillo shirts and Teespring here. Yeah, man. A little bit more. I think I'm going to bring back the 09 shirt too with the Pampa logo. Problem is I'm stuck in Ohio here, and I don't have my good computer at home that I have all the programs on to design with. So there we go. So now I just need a block for in here, which will not be a problem. Because that's, I may not, yeah, maybe so. I don't know. So it comes in this way. Maybe just cornered blocks. I don't need all that there, but I think I'm going to need this one though. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. We'll hold off on that because I may not need it. I'll have to wait till I get close. But at least I got the block made up that'll go in there. If it starts to hole out, I can put the block in and fill it and then add a block here and whittle it out of there. I need to parallel up that hole. We're going to have to set the engine in to make sure it's parallel with the bottom and then either move this slot or move that one, whichever one's out. Hopefully it's on the cowl and not on the fuselage. And it is. What I'm talking about here is you have the motor in there. You want this line here parallel with the exhaust flange. So if I put the cowl on it, I can't put it on with the motor on it. But if I put this cowl on it, I can see that they're not. This side is bigger than this side. So I have one or two choices. put a piece of wood in there and fill it, or cut this back, and that's what I'll probably do. Is I'll probably trim that back. But I need to find my machinist ruler. Let's see how much my eye can see here. This front hole is 19/32, and the back hole 18/30. It's only a 32nd off, but it sure is. It's my eye can see that pretty good. I need to drop this a 30 or raise this a 32nd. And you think, well, what's the big deal? Well, nothing really. Oh, I wanted to show, well, maybe I'll show that in my paid subscriber video. We're going to be talking about in our paid subscriber video all kinds of good stuff. Custom parts like that. Anybody ever see one of them? Of course, we got these. We got all kind of stuff to talk about. You got this type, phenolic. Anyway, let's see how long I've been on. 1 hour and 19 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this video up because I'm just basically babbling now. And either late tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll have the paid subscriber video up on bell crank geometry and push rod layout. And we'll finish mounting the bell crank in this project. I haven't done anything on this since the last subscriber video, and we'll go, on this one we'll get these compression spars glued in. The well, I did get the ball link mounted, the push rod cut, and the flap horn mounted. I'm not sure I'll get it bent because all I have is a crappy little vise on top of the TV stand over there to do it in, but at least we'll get the geometry set out. And that's basically what I got going. So I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, become a paid member. Look for Marcus Cadillo t-shirt designs coming up this month. In Teespring, I'll put a card up that pops up, and you can go ahead and order one of those shirts to, help us remember the guy by. I'm going to be doing a Brodak video. I ran across some footage from '05 that was pretty slick. I hope I don't get a copyright strike on that, but I wanna try that. So like, subscribe, share the video until I see you again, which is going to be later on this evening. Fair winds, tight lines. We'll see you.